Henry Kissinger once wrote, "The weak grow strong through effrontery, and the strong grow weak through inhibition." He meant that countries like Iran and North Korea, by pretending to be superpowers and acting like it and swaggering like it, tend to increase the perception of their power, while the United States, under a government like Obama's, are so inhibited from using their power and become what Richard Nixon called a paper tiger, somebody that actually has potential force but won't use it and won't get their act together to use it. Obama's policies of appeasement and apology have so weakened the United States that when Trump came on the scene, the restoration of American power has been a very welcome sight and is producing very important results. North Korea would not be coming to the bargaining table if it weren't for Trump's strength in standing up to Kim Jong-un, and in the course of it, offering him a way out other than nuclear weapons to enter the global economic community and benefit from it enormously. At the same time, Iran, which is not choosing to be accommodating and not choosing to negotiate, is finding that it can no longer pull the wool over the eyes of the American public or the American administration, and is being forced to consider modifying its nuclear program. In fact, it will inevitably have to modify it. And the European countries, who have consistently favored appeasement, going really all the way back to World War I, when their horrific combat deaths undermined their willingness ever to engage in war, a tendency which was reinforced after their appeasement failed in the 30s, and they went through the horrific bloodletting of World War II. Ever since then, France and Britain and Germany have been gun-shy, literally, and have been willing to appease and to apologize their way out of international problems. But Trump isn't letting them do that. Through the masterful tactic of secondary sanctions, where he applies economic sanctions to individuals and to governments that the United States feels need punishment, and then punishes any company that does business with those countries, even if the company is a foreign country. It's called secondary sanctions. Trump is injecting backbone into the European nations and forcing them, really, to follow his big stick diplomacy. And Trump is realizing the incredible power of the presidency, a power that had diminished over the decades by lack of use, by atrophy, and by, as Kissinger says, inhibition. The United States is the indispensable nation in the world. It's the freest nation, by far, the most democratic nation, and the one most committed to the values of democracy and freedom. And it's by far the strongest, over a quarter of the world's economy, and by far the strongest militarily. And Trump is using that power, finally, for good, and to advance the interests not just of America, but of the world community and of civilization. And thank God for President Trump. Today's Lunch Alert is sponsored by Money Morning. You could be owed over $23,000 in Social Security benefits. Believe it or not, the government is not infallible, and a series of mistakes by the bureaucracy have resulted in shortchanging Americans hundreds of millions of dollars in Social Security benefits. Audits by the Inspector General indicate that these mistakes go back 33 years, and the accumulated underpayment to benefits can be very substantial. Now, government is not going to be knocking at the door letting you know about this. You have to find out on your own. So watch the video at the end of this, and we'll tell you how to go about it. Thanks for watching.